Hello, my dear gardening friends. This corner in my garden is always left like a last stage cleanup in spring, but because we're having such a lovely weather, I think I can agree to such warm Decembers as long as our winters are not too long. You know, I garden in New England and our winters tend to be kind of too long and stretching all the way into April. At the end of April, our gardens are fully awake from winter. But I like that our Decembers are fairly not as cold. Of course, my kids are waiting for snow. I can take several more weeks. Maybe let there be snow for Christmas. But I'm using this opportunity to clear up this corner of the garden, and I'm going to clear up this Siberian Iris. And if you want to join me, you're welcome to do so. So here we have a very good example of very overgrown Siberian Iris. And you know, Siberian Iris is very easy perennial to grow. It's virtually disease-free, unlike its cousin, the bearded iris. Siberian Iris, the only thing what needs to be done about this almost pest and disease-free plant, is to trim it in the fall to get rid of all this foliage, because the rodents have a tendency to host their houses underneath. And you can see that this grassy leaves, they don't die tight to the ground, so it creates a nice little habitat for mice and whatnots. And I don't want them here because it's too close to the house, so I'm going to trim it today. Now, when you look at this Siberian Iris lot here, this is a very good example how Siberian Iris is dead in the middle. It's formed this circle, which is very, I can't fit into this space here. So this Siberian Iris is almost bare here in the middle, and it's a sure sign that this plant was not divided. Usually we divide Siberian Iris every 3 to 4 years, and this guy is sitting here for, for 10 years without me doing anything to it. So the division would be done in spring. That's the way to do it. And because Siberian Iris has fibrous roots, basically roots which are very skinny, small, and they're all over the place, it's very easy to divide. You just cut the chunk and move it to another location. And if we don't do it, Siberian Iris has the tendency to crowd itself out and start forming this bald spot in the center of which it formed right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trim it, and in spring this guy is going to be divided. You know what, if you're the beginner gardener and you're deciding which perennial plant to include in your garden, I would recommend Siberian Iris. It is disease-free, almost maintenance-free. It does like full sun. And here's this location, regularly didn't receive full sun. It had full sun in the morning, I wouldn't say half of the morning. And then here our neighbor lost a willow tree. So last year we had a lot of sun here. And as a result, our irises performed very well. And how do you judge the good performance? They stand nice, tall and straight. They don't flop, the leaves and the flowers. If there's a little bit not much sun for Siberian iris, it has a tendency to flop, and then, you know, the whole effect of this beautiful upright plant is ruined. Look at this. This is a very picturesque leaves. I don't know if I can do anything with them. The reason we have here this support is because I am trying to grow here clematis. And when we moved into this house, these clematis were already planted, believe it or not, very close to the wall, right there in a very dry corner. And I remember being a young mom, I couldn't take care of this garden. So I neglected this plant there, and he was already mature wine. Why are calling him he? It was a mature wine, that clematis. So one year it died. It refused to show up, to wake up in spring. And I said to myself, okay, gosh, I wasted such a beautiful mature plant, such a beautiful mature wine. But I remember I almost got rid of it. I just kind of got rid of the root system and threw it out. But I didn't have time at that time, mind you, 3 little kids. So I left it alone. And year after that, that root system was in the ground the whole year without any sign of life. And next year, it came back in spring and started growing. So after that, I'm babying this clematis here. I make sure that he's well fed and well watered there, because that's a really closed, like literally this distance was the foundation. And foundation comes there in the corner, and this plant clematis is planted right there. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to entice him to come here, which is away from the sun. Sun is there, and maybe climb here into this very, what shall we say, oldish mountain laurel, kind of thickish mountain laurel, which needs to be maybe rejuvenated this spring. It doesn't look very happy here, especially here at the bottom. I have to think about it, what I would do with this bush here. Now, and here we have my boxwoods growing. They are babies. There are like 12, 13 of them. And I just checked my young hedge in the front, and 2 of boxwoods died under the shrubs there. So these guys are going to be very happy volunteers being planted out maybe next year, or maybe I will let them grow here. I'm not sure. Now here we have this very wide leggy Nepeta, walk slow, and I really don't like this space here. I was trying to dedicate this area to the vegetable garden, but this area consistently doesn't have a lot of sun. And rodents, I'm sorry, rabbits are ruining everything what I'm putting here. I was trying to grow strawberries here, and literally not many strawberries. I'm not satisfied with that yield. So what I'm probably, the radical redesign must be happening here. I don't know what, but maybe next year I will be moving these stones away and doing some sort of a nice design here. Imagine an arch here, since we don't have any tree there, and a beautiful climber. I have to think about it. You know, gardeners love empty spaces. I do. I don't have a lot of empty spaces. That's why I love empty spaces. And you know what? My beautiful mature boxwoods are doing all right here. Several years ago, they were extremely diseased. So I had to do all sorts of treatments, as you can see here. Because of clematis taking over, I didn't want to trim to make a nice shape here to my boxwoods, but maybe this year I should take clematis down, retrain them to go on mountain laurel, and keep my boxwoods nice and tight. Because you see, they were neglected, so they developed a lot of bare spaces here, and I'm trying to get them into more tight of a shape. So this is the plan for spring. I don't know about you, but I can't wait already for spring. And of course, I always tell my kids that, you know, the anticipation of spring will not happen if we wouldn't have this nice long break of winter. And already I'm not regularly in the garden, you know, our gardens are asleep. especially here in New England in zone 6, 7. Some people in zone 8, 9 still have some of the roses blooming, but for me all my roses are already in dormant stage, and I have this restful time where I can build up as the anticipation of spring. It's not here yet. I'm still resting from a big, strong season of gardening, but my spring fever will begin, I would say around the end of January. It usually starts when I'm looking at my garden on my previous videos, and I would be like, oh my gosh, can my garden be so beautiful, so green and so lush? Because at that stage we will have deep, really cold winter. Hopefully, my kids are hoping for snow, and my garden would be just bare land. Well, not bare land, I have a lot of evergreens which are supporting the structure, but still there would be no color. Oopsie, I got stuck with you. So spring fever is not here yet, but I'm sure it is coming. Enjoy your gardens, and I will see you next time.